all editors signing on, suggesting political leadership has failed.
That's right. We published an editorial this past week, signed, as you said, by all of the editors, in which we made the case that the best response to the epidemic here in the U.S. was to go out and vote and change our leadership this coming election.
Are you afraid that others are accusing you, which they're already doing, of being partisan?
Yes. Honestly, this is not something we'd ordinarily do. We want to be seen as a disinterested and fair judge of science and clinical medicine. I think we do that. In this case, I don't really see it as politics, though. This is a public health issue. There are many ways that we could be combating this outbreak. Many other countries have used simple public health measures to do that, and the U.S. simply has not. And in the end, we consider that to be a failure of leadership rather than a failure of science. You know, we're a two-party system, so there are really only two choices. Yet we're not saying that we know that the president's opponent, for example, although we were criticizing leaders more broadly, we're not saying that we know that the president's opponent would do a better job. We just know that the current administration and many governors and legislators have done a particularly poor job, and they don't deserve to keep their positions.
And it suggests, quote, the leadership took a crisis and turned it into a tragedy, end of quote. That's quite an accusation.
It is true. This is a disaster. It's been a disaster. It's a disaster no matter what. In every country, we've had a lot of extra people dying because of this, and that was unavoidable. Certainly, if the U.S. had taken all of the measures that the countries with the best responses had taken, we still would have had lots of deaths, but we'd have nowhere near the number that we have now. And so this has been incredibly mismanaged, and mismanagement in this case costs lives.